I used to believe my life was simple, solid, and honest. I believed in routines, promises, and the future I talked about every night with her. I believed love meant staying even when things felt uncomfortable. I believed loyalty mattered more than pride, and trust mattered more than fear. "Are you still at work?" I asked on the phone, pressing it between my shoulder and ear. "Yes," she said. "Long day." "You said that yesterday too." She laughed lightly. "You're counting now?" "I just miss you," I said. "That's all." "I know," she replied, but her voice felt far away. I told myself I was overthinking. I always did. I believed relationships survived on patience, not suspicion. I believed that if I stayed calm, things would fix themselves. That night, we sat on the couch, her legs tucked under her, phone face down on the table. "You've been quiet lately," I said. "Did I do something wrong?" She looked at me, then away. "Why do you always think it's your fault?" "Because I care." "You care too much sometimes." I smiled, even though that sentence stung. I thought that was a good thing. "It is," she said quickly. "Just relax." I nodded. I always nodded. I didn't want to be the kind of man who questioned every silence. I wanted to be the man she felt safe with. My dreams were simple back then. Build my career, save money, move to a better place, maybe propose someday. She knew all of it. 5 years, I told her once. That's my plan. 5 years and we won't have to worry about money. She smiled but didn't look excited. "You always plan so far ahead." "Someone has to," I said. "I want a future." "With me?" she asked, half joking. "Only with you." She kissed my cheek, but her phone buzzed and she reached for it instantly. "Work?" I asked. "Yeah," she said too fast. "Just work." I didn't ask more. I told myself trust meant letting go of control. I told myself love wasn't about checking phones or tracking time. Still, small things changed. Calls ended early. Messages came hours later. "Sorry I fell asleep," she texted one night. "At 7? I typed, then deleted it. "No worries. Sleep well." When she canceled plans, she always had a reason. "I'm tired." "I forgot." Something came up. I accepted every excuse because I wanted to be understanding. I wanted to be different from the men she complained about. "You're not like them," she once told me. "You don't pressure me." "I don't want to," I said. "I want you to choose me freely." She smiled then, but it didn't reach her eyes. One evening I asked, "Are we okay?" She sighed. "Why do you always ask that?" "Because things feel off." "Nothing is off," she said. "You're imagining it." "Then why do I feel like I'm losing you?" She stood up. "You're being dramatic." That word stayed with me. Dramatic. Like my feelings were noise instead of warnings. I sat alone after she left, staring at my phone, scrolling through old messages where she used to say my name like it mattered. I thought love meant holding on tighter. I thought patience would be rewarded. I thought honesty was enough. I didn't know yet that trust without balance becomes blindness. I didn't know I was already standing on the edge. I only knew that I loved her, and I was willing to wait, even as the silence between us grew louder every day. The truth didn't arrive with a warning. It slipped in quietly, like it had been living there the whole time, waiting for me to finally look at it. "Can we talk?" she said that night, standing near the door instead of sitting beside me. My chest tightened. "About what?" "About us," she replied. I forced a small smile. "We always talk about us." She didn't smile back. She crossed her arms, like she was protecting herself from something I hadn't said yet. "I think we're stuck," she said. "Stuck how?" She looked past me. "You wouldn't understand." "Try me," I said. "I've been trying for months." She exhaled slowly. "I've met someone." The room went silent. I felt it before I understood it. "Met someone?" I repeated. "Like, a friend?" She shook her head once. "No." I laughed, not because it was funny but because my mind refused to accept it. "You're joking." "I'm not," she said softly. "I didn't plan it." "When?" I asked. My voice didn't sound like mine. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me," I said. "Everything matters to me." She finally looked at me. "It's been a while." I stood up too fast. "A while as in days, or a while as in you've been lying to my face every night?" She flinched. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "That's funny," I said. "Because it feels very intentional." She raised her voice. "I didn't go looking for this." "But you stayed," I said. "You chose it." "I chose happiness." I felt something crack inside me. Was I ever part of that? She hesitated. That pause was worse than any answer. So all those late nights, I said. All those canceled plans. That was him. She didn't answer. I stepped closer. Say it. Yes, she whispered. I nodded slowly like I was learning a lesson I never wanted. Does he know about me? He does now. And he's okay with it? She looked ashamed for half a second. He thinks you're holding me back. I laughed again, sharp and ugly. From what? Loyalty? You're twisting this, she said. You're not perfect either. I never said I was, I replied. But I never betrayed you. She crossed her arms tighter. You were too safe. That's your excuse? I asked. I was stable? You didn't push me, she said. You didn't make me feel alive. So you needed someone else to do that? I asked. While I trusted you? Tears formed in her eyes, and for a moment, I almost reached for her. Then she said, I knew you'd react like this. Like what? I asked. Like a man whose life just collapsed? She wiped her face. I can't keep pretending. So this is it? I asked. You tell me and walk away? I thought you'd understand, she said. I thought you'd fight for me. I stared at her. You wanted me to beg? She didn't answer, but her silence said everything. I stepped back. You already made your choice. She grabbed her bag. I didn't think it would end like this. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I didn't recognize the woman in front of me. It ended the moment you lied, I said. She paused at the door. I never meant to hurt you. The door closed behind her. I stood there alone, my phone buzzing in my pocket with messages I didn't open. My hands shook, but no tears came. Not yet. I sat down slowly, staring at the empty space she left behind. That night, everything I believed in broke. And she walked away thinking I'd follow. The morning after she left, my phone felt heavier than usual. I stared at it like it might explode if I touched it. She hasn't called? My friend asked when I finally answered. No, I said. And I'm not calling her. There was a pause. You sure that's smart? I'm sure I'm tired. He sighed. You know how she is. She probably just needs reassurance. Reassurance. I repeated. She cheated. People make mistakes, he said carefully. So do excuses, I replied. After the call ended, I sat on my bed staring at the wall. My head replayed everything she said, every pause, every look away. Part of me still waited for her name to light up my screen. It didn't. By afternoon, messages started coming in. She's hurting too. You should talk to her. Don't throw everything away over pride. Pride. That word again. Like my pain was ego instead of damage. My mother called next. I heard, she said softly. Then you know, I replied. I know you loved her. I still do, I admitted. Then fight for her. I closed my eyes. Why does everyone think love means begging? Because relationships take effort. I gave effort, I said. I gave trust. She was quiet. People don't always realize what they're losing. I did, I said. I realized it every time she chose someone else. After we hung up, I finally checked my messages. One from her. We need to talk. I stared at the words until they blurred. I typed about what? Then deleted it. Another message came through. I didn't expect you to disappear. Disappear. Like I was the one who vanished. I replied slowly. You said what you needed to say. Minutes passed. I thought you'd come over, she wrote. At least ask me to explain. Explain what? How lying felt easier than honesty. I put the phone down and paced the room. My chest felt tight like something was pressing from the inside. I imagined showing up at her door. I imagined asking what I did wrong. I imagined apologizing for not being enough. The thought made me sick. My phone buzzed again. Are you really going to act like this? I laughed under my breath. Act like what? Like a man with self-respect? I finally replied. I'm not acting. I'm choosing. Her response came fast. Choosing what? Being alone? That question hit harder than I expected. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor. I typed, I was alone even when you were here. No reply. Hours passed. Evening came. My friend showed up unannounced. She's a mess, he said as soon as he walked in. Is she? I asked. She didn't think you'd cut her off like this. I looked at him. Why does everyone think silence means weakness? Because you always forgive, he said. I nodded. That was the problem. He sat down. So what now? I don't know, I said honestly. But I know I'm not begging. He studied me. You sure you won't regret this? I already regret staying quiet when I should have spoken up, I said. I won't regret walking away. My phone buzzed one last time that night. I never thought you'd give up on us. I stared at the screen, then typed the truth. I didn't give up. You did. I turned the phone face down and lay back, staring at the ceiling. My chest still hurt, but something else was there too. Clarity. They expected me to beg, to chase, to prove my worth to someone who forgot it. Instead, I stayed silent. And that silence felt louder than anything I'd ever said. I didn't decide to leave all at once. It started as a thought I refused to take seriously, then slowly turned into the only thing that made sense. You look exhausted, the taxi driver said when I got in. Long week, I replied. Heart problems or money problems? He asked casually. I smiled weakly. Heart. He nodded like he understood too well. Those take longer to heal. I watched the city pass by the window, every street carrying a memory I didn't ask for. My phone buzzed again, but I didn't check it. That night, I sat alone with my laptop open. The room was quiet, too quiet. I typed random searches just to avoid the one I wanted. Flights. I laughed to myself. You're not really doing this. But my fingers kept moving. A one-way ticket stared back at me. Different city. Different life. No return date. You're running? I whispered. Or maybe I was surviving. I called an old online friend I hadn't spoken to in months. He picked up on the third ring. Didn't expect to hear from you, he said. Yeah, I replied. Me neither. You sound different. Tired, I said. Confused. He chuckled. That usually means change is coming. I'm thinking of leaving, I admitted. Starting over. There was silence on the line, then he said, Are you running from pain or toward peace? The question stayed with me. I don't know, I answered honestly. You don't have to, he said. Just don't stay where you're breaking. After the call, I stared at the screen again. My hand hovered over the purchase button. This doesn't mean you failed, I told myself. I thought about her expecting me to show up. I imagined the look on her face when I didn't. I clicked buy. The confirmation email arrived instantly. My chest tightened, then loosened like I'd finally exhaled after holding my breath for too long. I didn't tell anyone. Not my friends. Not my family. I packed quietly. Clothes first. Then the small things. A watch she gave me went into the drawer, not the bag. Not coming with me, I said softly. My phone buzzed again. Her name. I didn't open it. Instead, I typed a message to myself in my notes. You are allowed to leave places that hurt you. At the airport, everything felt unreal. People laughed, argued, hugged goodbye. Life moved forward like nothing had ended. At the security line, a man in front of me turned around. First time flying alone? Is it that obvious? I asked. He smiled. You're gripping that bag like it might disappear. Feels like my life might, I said. He laughed. Then you're doing it right. On the plane, the seat beside me stayed empty. I stared out the window as the city lights blurred. My phone buzzed one last time before takeoff. Please talk to me. I typed a response, then erased it. I powered the phone off instead. As the plane lifted, my stomach dropped, but not from fear. From release. I thought about the man I was a week ago. The one waiting for explanations. The one hoping love would fix everything. I'm sorry, I whispered to him. You deserved better. The flight attendant smiled as she passed. You okay? Yeah, I said. Just starting something new. She nodded. Best reason to fly. When we landed, I turned my phone back on. Messages flooded in. Missed calls. Worry. Confusion. I didn't respond. I stepped outside, breathed in unfamiliar air, and felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Control. She thought I'd beg. Instead, I left without saying goodbye. I arrived with 2 bags and no expectations. The city didn't know me, and for once that felt like freedom. No memories waited on corners. No one whispered her name in my ear. First day? The landlord asked, handing me the keys. First everything, I said. He smiled. That's usually how change starts. Work came fast and unforgiving. I took a job I didn't brag about, but it paid the bills and kept my mind busy. You don't complain, my coworker said during lunch. I'm not here to, I replied. He laughed. Then you'll last. Days passed in routines. Wake up. Work. Sleep. Repeat. I liked the order. Order meant control, and control meant I didn't have to think about what I lost. Nights were harder. Silence feels heavier when no one is asking where you are. I sat on the floor of my empty apartment, phone in my hand, staring at her name. Don't, I told myself. I didn't call her. I called someone else. You look like a man running, my mentor said after noticing I stayed late again. I'm not running, I replied. I'm rebuilding. He nodded. Good. Running never lasts. He taught me discipline, patience, and how to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. You don't heal by proving your worth, he said. You heal by knowing it. Weeks went by. My body grew tired, but my mind grew sharper. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped rereading messages that no longer belonged to me. One afternoon, my coworker leaned over. You're quieter than before. Is that bad? I asked. No, he said. It means you're thinking. I was thinking about who I became when no one was watching. Then the messages started coming. Not from her. From people who meant well but knew nothing. She's not doing great. She didn't expect you to really leave. I read every message and felt nothing. That scared me at first. One night, my phone buzzed with her name. My chest tightened before my mind caught up. I miss you. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering. I miss who I was before you lied, I whispered. I didn't reply. Instead, I put on my shoes and went outside. I ran until my lungs burned and my thoughts went quiet. The city lights blurred, and for the first time, the pain didn't chase me. Later, alone, I admitted the truth. Leaving didn't fix me. It didn't erase the betrayal. But it gave me room to grow without being pulled back into someone else's chaos. I wasn't winning. I wasn't losing. I was rebuilding. And for the first time since she left, that was enough. Karma didn't arrive with fireworks. It came quietly through other people's mouths, like gossip that carried weight. You heard about her? A mutual contact asked over the phone. No, I said. And I'm not asking. He hesitated anyway. Things aren't great. I stayed silent. She left her job, he continued. The guy she chose didn't turn out how she expected. I leaned back in my chair. That's her life. I know, he said. Just thought you should know. After the call, I stared at the ceiling. I expected satisfaction. I felt none. Just distance. That night my phone buzzed. Her name. I didn't open it at first. I set the phone down, walked to the window, and watched traffic move like nothing in the world was breaking. When I finally looked, the message was short. Can we talk? I laughed quietly. Now. I typed, about what? The reply came fast. I need to explain things. You already did, I muttered. I waited before responding. Minutes turned into an hour. I'm busy, I finally wrote. There was a pause. You were never too busy for me before. I felt the shift then. The roles weren't the same anymore. Things change, I replied. She called. I stared at the screen until it stopped buzzing. Another message followed. Please, I'm not okay. I closed my eyes. Part of me wanted to fix it out of habit. Another part of me felt tired of carrying emotions that weren't mine. I answered the call. Hi, she said, her voice small. What do you want? I asked. I didn't think it would end like this. You ended it, I said calmly. I didn't think you'd disappear, she replied. I thought you'd fight. For someone who betrayed me? I asked. She started crying. I made a mistake. You made a choice, I corrected. He's gone, she said. Everything fell apart. I stayed quiet. Say something, she begged. I said. By not rescuing you. She sniffed. I miss us. I exhaled slowly. You miss the version of me that stayed no matter what. That's not fair, she said. It's honest, I replied. There was silence between us, heavy and awkward. I thought you needed me, she said. I did, I answered. You didn't need me back. Her breathing shook. I didn't know you'd change. I didn't either, I said. But you forced it. She whispered, Can we meet? No, I said. Why not? Because I don't want to reopen something that finally closed. You sound cold, she said. I sound healed, I replied. She went quiet. Then softly, I regret everything. I believed her. That didn't change anything. I hope you figure things out, I said. Just not with me. Before she could respond, I ended the call. My phone stayed silent after that. The next day, my coworker noticed my mood. You look lighter, he said. I set a boundary, I replied. He nodded. Those hurt at first. They hurt less than betrayal, I said. More updates came through the week. Bills she couldn't pay. Friends she lost. A relationship that collapsed under the same lies that destroyed mine. I didn't celebrate. One night, alone, I spoke to the version of myself that begged once. She feels it now, I said out loud. But karma wasn't about revenge. It was about balance. She lost control the moment she thought I'd always be there to catch her. And I gained mine the moment I stopped reaching back. That was the shift. Not her downfall. My freedom. She asked again 3 days later. Please. Just once. Let me explain everything. I stared at the message longer than I should have. Months ago I would have answered in seconds. Months ago I would have taken this as hope. Now it felt like a test. One call I replied. That's it. She called immediately like she'd been holding her breath. Thank you, she said. I didn't think you would. I didn't think I would either, I answered. Her voice sounded tired. Not dramatic. Just worn down. I've been thinking a lot, she began. I'm sure you have. I know I hurt you, she said. More than I admitted before. I leaned back in my chair. That's a start. I was selfish, she continued. I wanted excitement without consequences. And I was the consequence, I said. She inhaled sharply. You were the one who loved me. I stayed quiet. I didn't respect that, she added. I didn't respect you. Those words landed heavier than any apology before. I wish you had told me this earlier, I said. I was scared, she replied. I thought if I admitted it I'd lose you. You lost me anyway, I said calmly. She started crying quietly this time. No performance. Just regret. I used to imagine this moment, she said. You forgiving me. Us fixing things. I imagined it too, I admitted. Back when I thought love meant enduring anything. So, is there still a chance? She asked. The question hung between us. I closed my eyes. I saw the man I was waiting for crumbs of honesty. I saw the nights I blamed myself for her distance. I'm not angry anymore, I said. But that doesn't mean I can go back. Why not? She asked. If you've healed, shouldn't forgiveness be easy? Forgiveness isn't the same as return, I replied. I forgive you. I just don't choose you. She went silent. I changed, she said finally. You can't deny that. I'm sure you did, I said. But so did I. She whispered, I don't recognize you. That's because you only knew the version of me who stayed, I said. Not the one who learned to leave. She cried harder then. I needed you. I needed you too, I said. You chose not to be there. Her voice shook. If I could undo it. You can't, I said gently. And neither can I. Another pause. Do you ever miss me? I thought about it honestly. I miss who I thought you were, I said. Not who you showed me. That hurt her. I knew it did. I deserve that, she said quietly. Yes, I replied. You do. She took a breath. So this is goodbye. It's been goodbye for a while, I said. Why does it hurt now more than before? She asked. Because regret always arrives late, I answered. She let out a broken laugh through tears. You're not cruel. I don't need to be, I said. I just need to be done. I hope you're happy, she said. I'm at peace, I replied. That's better. We stayed on the line a few seconds longer, neither of us speaking. Then she said, I'm sorry. I know, I said. And I accept it. I hung up before either of us could say something we'd regret. The room felt still after the call ended. No racing heart. No shaking hands. Just quiet. I sat there realizing something important. The apology I once prayed for didn't save me. Letting go did. And that was how I knew I'd finally moved on. I didn't plan on going back. Just happened. A work trip brought me closer than I expected, and suddenly the streets felt familiar again. Same buildings. Same corners. Different version of me. You okay? My coworker asked as we walked out of the cafe. Yeah, I said. Just memories. He nodded. Those fade. I know, I replied. They just talk sometimes. Later that evening I walked alone. Not to her place. Not on purpose. My feet stopped near it anyway. So this is where it all fell apart, I muttered. A voice behind me said, Didn't think I'd see you here. I turned. An old friend stood there, surprise written all over his face. Didn't think I'd be here either, I said. He studied me. You look different. Better or worse? Stronger, he said. Calmer. I learned, I replied. We walked together for a bit. She's not doing well, he said carefully. I heard, I replied. She talks about you sometimes. I smiled faintly. People talk about what they lost when it's quiet. She regrets it, he added. I believe that, I said. He stopped walking. You don't sound angry. I said. Then I got tired. We stood there in silence. You ever think about what would have happened if you stayed? He asked. Sometimes, I said. Then I remember why I left. He nodded slowly. She thought you'd come back. I know, I said. That's why I didn't. Later that night my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. I saw you today. I knew immediately. I didn't reply. Another message followed. You look happy. I sighed. Don't do this. I typed, I hope you're okay. Then I stopped myself and deleted it. I put the phone away. Minutes later she called. I let it ring. Then again. I answered on the third try. I won't meet, I said before she could speak. I don't want that, she replied quickly. I just wanted to say, you look good. Why are you calling? I asked. I needed to see if you were real, she said. If this version of you actually exists. It does, I replied. You just don't get access. She swallowed. I didn't think losing you would feel like this. I told you once, I said. Choices echo. I know, she whispered. I see it now. I leaned against a wall, breathing slowly. This conversation doesn't help either of us. I won't call again, she said. I just needed to hear your voice. You heard it, I said. Now let it go. She was quiet. You never came back. No, I said. I moved forward. I hope you find someone who treats you the way you deserved, she said. I already did, I replied. Me. That made her cry. I'm proud of you, she said softly. I hesitated. Thank you. We ended the call without drama. Without promises. Without hope. I walked away from that street without looking back. The next day my coworker noticed my mood. You seem lighter, he said. I closed a door, I replied. Hard one. The hardest, I said. But the right one. On the flight home, I stared out the window as the city disappeared below me. I thought about all the versions of myself that lived there. The man who waited. The man who hoped. The man who broke. None of them boarded this plane. Only the man who survived did. And as the clouds swallowed the past, I realized something simple and true. I didn't win by watching her fall. I won by walking past the ruins and never calling them home again. The last night before my next flight, I sat alone in my apartment, surrounded by boxes I didn't rush to unpack anymore. You're moving again? My coworker asked on the phone. Forward, I said. Not away. He laughed softly. That's a different kind of leaving. It is, I replied. I hung up and looked around. The silence didn't scare me now. It felt earned. I opened my laptop and found an old draft I never finished. A message I once planned to send her. My fingers hovered over the keys. Not needed anymore, I said out loud. I deleted it. The next morning, the taxi driver glanced at me through the mirror. Business or pleasure? He asked. Closure, I said. He smiled. Best reason I've heard all day. At the airport, a familiar feeling hit me. Not fear. Not sadness. Just awareness. I watched couples argue quietly, families hug too long, people running late like everything mattered at once. You traveling alone? The woman next to me asked while we waited to board. Yes, I said. She nodded. That's brave. I shook my head. It's honest. On the plane I scrolled through my phone one last time. No messages from her. No missed calls. Nothing unfinished. Good. I thought about the man I used to be. The one who apologized too quickly. The one who believed love meant shrinking himself. I didn't know better, I whispered. But I learned. A memory surfaced, her voice saying I cared too much. I smiled. She was wrong. The flight attendant stopped beside me. Coffee? Yes, I said. Black. As she handed it over, she said, You look calm. I worked for it, I replied. Halfway through the flight, my phone buzzed. A message from my mother. I'm proud of you. I stared at it longer than expected. I finally am too, I typed back. When we landed, I didn't rush. I walked out slowly, breathing in the new air like it belonged to me. Outside, my coworker waved. You made it, he said. I always do, I replied. We loaded my bag into the car. You ever regret how things ended? He asked. I thought about it carefully. No. I regret how long I stayed silent. He nodded. Fair. Later that night, alone again, I stood in front of the mirror. Not checking for damage. Not searching for flaws. Just looking. You survived, I said to my reflection. I remembered the pain, the nights I couldn't sleep, the urge to beg for answers. I remembered thinking love was something I had to earn. It isn't, I said quietly. It's something you protect. I took my phone out and scrolled to her name. still there. Untouched. I hesitated, then deleted the contact. Not out of anger. Out of completion. I walked to the window and watched the city lights glow. Somewhere out there, she was living with her choices. Somewhere out there, the man I used to be was finally resting. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need her regret. I needed myself back. And I had him. I poured a glass of water, raised it slightly, and said, "To walking away when staying costs too much." No one answered. But for the first time, I didn't feel alone. I felt whole. She thought I'd beg after her betrayal. Instead, I left, rebuilt, and became someone who never has to beg again. That was the justice. That was the ending. And this time I chose it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.